A very long time ago, I met this girl. Let's just call her Susie for the sake of this video. This was all the way back in elementary school when I met her. I wasn't even, how old? Probably like 10 years old at the time. And I started talking to her. I actually didn't care about girls at all at this time. All I was thinking about was who was the fastest kid in my class. That's like literally all there was to think about back then. But the day that everything changed is when I developed a crush on this girl. Susie had me in this grip that I've never had before in my entire life. She was the first girl I think I've ever liked. And if you're anything like me, guys in general, when you have your first whatever, it doesn't matter. When I had my first Oreo, I fell in love with it. So, like, when you're young, you fall in love with things easily. I would argue that I fell in love with this girl just by having a crush on her. And she was one of these people that I would show up to class every single day thinking of her. She was the main person I thought about and the main thing that I thought about when I was in school. And I actually think that she's one of the main reasons that I'm here right now in this crazy looking city. But the story just starts there. Back to what I was saying, there's always a first. There's a first for everything. And the reason that I developed a crush on this girl is very specific, and I think I remember it because it's the first thing that I ever did that led to something like this. So I was sitting next to her in class one day, and she dropped her pencil. And I don't know what happened, but I was like, hey, let me just be nice and pick this up for her. So I picked up her pencil, I handed it to her, and for some reason I felt a sense of me being different. I was like, wow, that felt really good. And I don't know what happened, but a switch flipped in my head, and I was like, I like this girl. And I don't know what the feeling was, but it was definitely a strong feeling. And then from that day forward, it was very small things that led up. I would talk to her sometimes, we would do work together, and mind you, this is like early school, like we're so young. And you would expect it to have ended here, but it gets a lot crazier as the story continues. So I start seeing her every single day, and not only that, something else that I really liked is the teacher that I had was amazing. One of my best teachers I've ever had in my entire life. So now we're getting into late elementary school, and it's something where she's the number one thing I look forward to. And the thing is, it's not just I'm looking forward to her in class, I'm looking forward to thinking about what I'm going to say next to her. It was a fun game where in elementary school we'd always have to choose partners for things, and I would always choose her as my partner. And I actually think that she liked me back. Now, we finish elementary school, we don't talk for a while. It kind of goes on. It's like we're just doing our own things. I honestly forgot about her because you know how young our attention spans are when we're that young. There's nothing to think about because I'm not like out of sight, out of mind, right? So I wasn't thinking about her too much until I ended up getting a class with her years later. Now, for some reason, these years later, I didn't think it would mean anything. I saw her, but instantly I was like, I need to sit next to her because she was like one of my best friends. Of course I'm going to sit next to her. And I'm sitting next to her in this class, and I'm just thinking, like, I don't know what it was, but I actually developed a crush on her, like, instantly. And when I say instantly, I'm saying it took no time. No time was wasted there. It was something so quick, it just snapped. It felt right. And I don't know why it felt right. I think it was because of our connection in elementary school, but I have never felt this way towards a girl. I've met girls who are on her level when it comes to her attraction. I've met girls who I've gotten along with better than her, but there's never been anyone quite like this one girl. And instantly it goes back. It's like a flashback to the old days where all I'm doing is thinking about her just consistently. Every day, day in and day out. It's something that literally just would never leave my head. And we would do projects together, but this time it was a little different because we had phones. So it wasn't something like we would only be able to talk in class. We actually would text, and we text back and forth like every single night. And I remember this one specific project that we had together. I decided that it would be a good idea to FaceTime her and basically do the entire project in one night because we want to get stuff done quick. So I FaceTime her, and we do the project. It actually didn't take long at all. It was more of like a homework assignment. I guess she just called it a project for whatever reason. Our teacher, she was crashing out. But I call her, we finish the project, but we don't hang up after that. We continue talking just nonstop. And this made me fall even deeper into what I like to call the trance. The trance is when everything else goes blurry behind you. It's like when you have a really good camera, like picture everything behind me is just blurry. That's how it felt when I was talking to her. And this is even crazier than, like, I don't know, I had never felt a feeling like this. Even in elementary school, yes, I had a crush on this girl. This was farther than a crush now. This is a girl who was a really good friend, but I also thought she was really attractive, which is like a double-edged sword. That can't end well for most people. So we continue talking, and we actually start hanging out outside of school. And this became a consistent thing. It wasn't like some one-off thing where we'd hang out every once in a while. We'd literally hang out consistently for months and months and months, just doing random different things, hang out with friends, whatever the case may have been. And I feel like a lot of you guys might relate to this, but the feeling was insane. Whenever I saw her, it was like a heart skipped. Like when I've heard the saying, "Your heart skips a beat," I've never understood what that meant, but bro, when I tell you my heart skipped a beat when I saw this girl, it sounds corny, but it's just the truth, and I'm here to tell you the truth. And I even to this day have not felt that feeling for almost anyone ever again, except for maybe I guess my first girlfriend. But this literal like heart thing was just insane. Anytime I saw her, anytime I even got a text from her, my heart would literally be like skipping a beat. I would like literally go crazy. And this all led up to one specific moment. The moment was us hanging out outside of school, and I decided I wanted to make a move. Now, when I wanted to make this move, it was something unlike anything I've ever felt. The fear was literally insane. It was a fear that I've never felt before, and honestly, I would say it's almost worse than anything I've ever felt before because I was that scared. So I actually backed out of making that move. But I had so much built up emotion and stuff inside of me that I ended up deciding to make a song about it on my guitar, because I grew up playing guitar my entire life and I was that emotionally attached. I made a song about this girl that I would never even sing to her or play to her or anything. I guess it was in my head. And looking back, that's like really corny and crazy. That's something of like a Disney movie, but besides the point, I made this song because I had that much built up emotion. And this led into me making music. I started making this music as a way of expressing myself. This was like a newfound passion. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the music, but this is where it all started to go downhill. So when I started making music, I lost a lot of popularity in school. And at that time, of course, she probably cared about that, as many people do. But when I was making these songs, I noticed it seemed like her interest started to fade away more and more, until eventually I went to make a move on her. It was one night I was with one of my friends and I was talking about her nonstop. Like, when I tell you the emotional pull, it was like that heart stop feeling, but it lasted an entire night because I decided it's all or nothing. I need to make the move now. Until eventually, I did. And I don't know if I regret it or not, but she rejected me. And in a way, this was somewhat of a relief, but this led me into the path of not trying anymore. I didn't feel like I should try with girls because this girl was such a long... It felt like I can't even explain it. It's like you put your work into something for so long and then it just fades to nothingness. Is kind of how it felt. I guess you could say it was bad, but maybe it was a good thing at the end of the day. So, as I said, I was making this music. It was my newfound creativity and my outlet for expressing myself. And when I was making this music, I would often think of her. Now, I don't know why, but I made this promise to myself that I would either be successful in music or content creation, something that I enjoyed in life, because I decided that life is bigger than a girl. It's bigger than any sort of connection, even though her connection meant more to me than almost anything. So I started making this music, and I just lost all of my friends. Like so many people, I guess I found out that they were fake and they didn't really like me for me, because if they did, they would have supported me making music. That was not the case. And I decided I wasn't going to stop for them until eventually I did. I made a song that did very well, and I talked about this in a recent video. I made a song that got thousands of streams, and I took it down out of pure embarrassment from my peers because they, I guess, in a way, convinced me to take it down because they hated and talked about it so much, and it was something that I had never felt. So I decided that I was going to give up. I ended it all. I stopped making music completely. And after I deleted all my songs off of all the streaming platforms, that's when I realized I had made a viral song. Not a viral, but to me it was viral. 1,000 plays, a couple thousand plays was crazy to me at the time because I hadn't even been on social media or anything. And when I quit this, I felt empty. I felt like there was nothing that I had going for me. I just was a void. I had no girl, the girl that I liked and that I had a crush on, I had no chance with her. I lost one of my passions because of all the hate that I got. So I decided that I was going to follow a new passion. And this one was one that I was not going to give up on. It's actually the passion that you're witnessing, content creation. one of my friends in school had made videos before, and I don't know what it was, but I had complete and utter delusional belief in myself that I was going to make it work. You know, most people don't make social media work. It's not a thing. But so then I started making these videos on TikTok, and it was something where I started posting every single day. And you guys know the story. I talk about it all the time because it was a huge part of my life. It's about to fall. Now this is where it gets good, and it's the part that nobody, or at least me, I don't really talk about it often. When I started making content, I had gotten millions of views. Like, and when I say millions, I'm saying like weekly, I was getting multi-millions of views. I think it was like 10 million views a week, just instantly. And when you're somebody who was a nobody, who didn't do anything, that was crazy to me. And it almost seems impossible to most people. Even you think, watching this right now, you're probably thinking, how did he do that? Or how can I do that? Because, I don't know, maybe you're like me and you have a similar mindset. But it was November of 2020 something. It was after the virus. And I decided that I wanted to figure out how to make money off this. So I started selling this product. You guys probably don't even know about the product. It was these necklaces right here that I'm wearing right now, these puka shell necklaces. The reason I wear it all the time is because I feel like it's a part of me. It reminds me of my beginnings. And when I started selling this product, I instantly started making so much more money. And when I say so much more, I'm saying like I was making like $10,000 a month, like crazy. And I'm not saying this to flex or to look cool or sound good to any of you. I was saying this because it was crazy. Just picture making $10,000 per month at 17 years old. To me, that was next level insane. So then this girl, I run back into her again. And this is like a lot later in my life, I guess. And it was a completely different feeling this time. A feeling of upsetness, if that's a word. I guess I didn't feel right because she seemed to feel bad in a way for me, when in reality she should never feel bad for rejecting me, especially at that time, because I had nothing. Like, why would a girl want you for that? You know what I mean? But yeah, she rejected me, and she just seemed like upset about it, and I didn't like that. I don't like when people feel bad for me, and I felt like she felt bad for me. So we kind of just stopped talking. At this point, I actually have a girlfriend, and my girlfriend, I don't think, cared too much about my social media. I don't even think she knew that I made any money from it, and if she did, it's probably because I told her. So that was good. Everything was good, but I still, after I broke up, or me and my most recent girlfriend broke up, I started thinking about this other girl, and the only reason is because I think the reason that it didn't work out is because she was forward thinking, and she just knew that long term it might not work. I'm not even totally sure why she thought this. But what I will say is that I'm very glad that it didn't work, because I still have a relationship with this girl, and I still see her as a really good friend. Do I have feelings for her anymore? I wouldn't say so, but at the same time, I guess your first crush will always be your first crush to an extent, if you can say that. So the reason that I say I'm here because of that is because girl issues and me being rejected and or broken up with has only ever done good to me, because the bad experiences are the ones that you learn from the most. At least that's what I've come to realize. And the worst thing that happened to me, the worst, was rejection and breaking up and that stuff with girls. But in all reality, if I was never rejected, I probably would have never done social media to fill the void. And because I did, I now get to talk to you guys and tell you the stories of how this all happened. And because I happened to make some money from it, I came here. I came here to Miami not because I wanted to flex or I wanted to show my money or anything like that. I came here actually because I felt like there was more content and more personal development to be had. So now I'm in this city at 19, basically alone. I do have a roommate, but it's all because of you guys, and it's all because of that first girl. So if there's one main takeaway that I have, it's don't be afraid. Take the risk, ask the girl out, do the thing you've always wanted to do, try it, and if you fail, good for you. You're going to learn a lot, especially if it really hurts. Especially if it really hurts you. If you feel pain, good, to an extent. Hopefully you guys were helped by this video.